This is Rounding Third, Boston Podcast. Harrison Smith and Nick Arno are breaking down every pitch, every game, and every series. Live every week. This is your home for all things Red Sox. Let's talk Sox.
Welcome back into Rounding Third Boston, episode 13. A couple of key injuries this week. I'm Nick, and we have Harrison tonight. How are we doing, Harrison?
Good, Nick. It feels like the number 13 is kind of a fitting number for this week's episode, but we'll get into that here in a minute. How are you?
I mean, brutal week for Red Sox Nation here, but we will get into it. But first, make sure you follow and like us on Facebook. You can subscribe on YouTube. You can also follow on Instagram, Rumble, and TikTok. You can also listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. We also have our affiliate sponsors, Dick's Sporting Goods, MLB Shop, and Lids. You can find these links on the tops of all of our socials. So if you shop with these companies, do so through our links. We get a nice little kickback with no additional cost to you, and it's a great way to support the podcast. So please do that. We also have our Rounding Third merch at Rounding Third Baseball on Etsy. So you just search our name and look at all our products. We got T-shirts, sweatshirts, tumblers. We got a whole bunch of stuff on there. So go ahead and support us that way as well. All right, let's dive right in. I mean, probably the biggest, saddest news story of the week was Tristan Casas taken off the field on a stretcher with what would be later diagnosed as a left ruptured patellar tendon. All indications at the time that I wrote this was season ending. It is season ending for sure. Just had successful surgery today. I mean, tough break because he looked like he was getting back into the swing of things. He was hitting the ball, having good at bats, and then just ruptures his left tendon here.
Yeah, it's a shame in a couple of regards here. I mean, one, he was finally starting to turn things around and looked relatively good. And two, he was potentially a trade piece to help this team down the road, and now he's not that either. So disappointing for him, disappointing for the Red Sox, kind of a fluky play. And then the look on his face on that stretcher was just like, really? Like, this is happening?
Yeah.
It's a tough break all around, and it's a shame because this is a guy who, when he came up, he was going to be a huge part of this team's future. And he's lost a season and a half out of the last two with injuries.
Yeah, and kind of fluky ones too. But I was watching this play, and to me, it's weird that his left one ruptured because to me, the way he fell and like stepped on the bag, it looked like the right leg took most of the hit. If you go back and watch it, so it was weird that to me, it's weird that his left one ruptured. I know he kind of like clipped the first baseman's leg on the way by with his left one, and maybe that's when it happened. But to me, I thought it was the brunt force on his right leg. I would have thought it was a right leg injury. And then when he's down on the ground clutching his left one, I was like, what just happened?
Yeah, so when I watched it, it looked like the reason he hit the bag so hard with his right foot is because he went to push off the left and there was nothing there. So it's like he went to stride through the left leg. It wasn't there. And you can see, like in this picture you've got up, like he's already starting to collapse into the bag.
Yeah,
he didn't get full extension, so I think he actually busted up the knee, the stride before. The right leg then kind of braced and he landed on it. And the reason his left leg was just kind of like flapping out there and caught the first baseman. But I think it was the step before when he went to push off and there's nothing there.
That would make sense. I mean, definitely.
He just went down in a heap, and he's not a small boy.
No. And when that train's running and all of a sudden it gets off the tracks and it's out of control, dude, get out of the way. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, good. Like you said, it's terrible on multiple counts. It's terrible for him. I hate it for him. He finally seemed to be finding it. And then something like this happens. But I say it all the time. I say it at least twice a show. Baseball gods are cruel. They don't care. But
yeah. Well, so you look back. This is his fourth season in the league. Season number 1, he came up in September, so it was only 27 games. 2023, he was a third place Rookie of the Year finisher, played 132 games. Last year played 63. This year plays 29. I mean, in his 3 full seasons in the big leagues, he's played 220 games of a possible, what is that, 480. He's played basically less than half of the potential games he could have been in.
Yeah, that sucks.
And he's only 25. I mean, the nice thing is he's only 25. There's still plenty of time, but what you've seen is a guy who just can't stay on the field.
Yeah. So now there's like a trickle down effect for all this. So we have Romy Gonzalez and Vaughn Grissom. Vaughn Grissom. Romy's to take the starting role as of now. And I mean, Romy's playing out of his mind, I think. He
been
looks
great.
Good. He's been real great.
I mean, they've been trying to find him more playing time, and here it is.
Yeah. And reports are saying that Grissom has been playing first base in the minors to hopefully get that position some depth. So there is a possibility at some point, if Romy cools off. I mean, I hope he doesn't.
No.
And, that's a position where Grissom would go. Because, I mean, who else realistically would go there? I know the media is all over putting Devers at first base now. All over it. And Devers and Cora would be like, whoa. Like, guys, we don't even know what we're doing right now. Like, Romy's our first baseman. That's it. That's all we have to worry about right now. Romy's going in there every day, and we'll figure it out as it comes. If he needs an off day, Connor Wong can play first base. Like, we have options. So it's not like end all be all that Cassis is hurt. We do have a few guys that can go into that spot.
Yeah, it is a position that is thin. Mm-hmm. The Red Sox just don't have a lot going on there. I get the screams for finding a spot for Roman Anthony. I understand that he's not a first baseman. We made the joke of give him a first baseman, let him figure it out, get him some at bats. But again, like we were critical of Cassis at times for his footwork and the way he fields the position and how much that was hurting the team. You want to talk about bad footwork? Yeah, Rafael Devers might be the definition of bad footwork. You don't want to make that problem worse.
No.
Romy's a pretty athletic guy from what it seems. I think Romy will be fine. Obviously needs time. That's the biggest thing. It's time to understand how to play that position, how to field it, how to space, how to position, when you can be aggressive, when you can't. There's a lot of first base that is more about understanding the situation, what you can and can't do. Athletic guy, I'm sure I'll pick it up. Grissom, I mean, yeah, any depth is good at this point because when you look down to the minor leagues, they have people playing first base, but nobody that jumps out at you.
Right. Yeah, you're all stacked on the outfield and the middle infield positions.
Yeah, there's nobody coming down the pipeline the next couple of years at first base is going to save you.
No. So with that, Roman Anthony and Breslow came out and said right away that they are not options to fill Casas' spot at this point. So is there something we aren't seeing, or is there just no room on the big club?
I don't think it's worth changing their progression to fill a temporary need. So you think about minor league development. Are you developing the player or are you developing, the position of the major league roster? You could take one of these guys and smush him into a spot in the major league roster if you really wanted to. But is that really what's best for the player long term? Probably not. Would it hurt to have positional flexibility? No. But do you view Roman Anthony as the first baseman of the future? No. Mayer? No. Campbell? No. They play higher value positions, and you rather leave them there. I've heard rumors, and we can get into this later if we want to go deeper. I've heard rumors about, Anthony Rizzo. Do they bring in Rizzo on a short-term deal and just say, hey, bud, bail us out? Like, come play some first base.
Yeah. I think that might be an option, like I said, if Gonzalez kind of fizzles out here. If he keeps putting together at bats like he has been this last week, he might be solely the only bright spot of the Red Sox last week.
Yeah.
Yes. There's a couple other guys that had decent weeks, but he's playing really well. So why not? You don't have to go out and spend any money. You're not, yes, you're a 500 ball club right now, which is something else we can talk about later, but he's not hurting you at first base right now. And he's athletic enough, to your point, that he can make that adjustment and play there full time if he needs to. So there's no sense of pushing Anthony and Meyer up there to just throw one of them at first base or throw Devers at first base or whatever. There's no point.
Yeah, these are not the kind of guys you use to fill a roster hole. These guys who are on a very strict development plan. They want to see them get so many reps in certain places doing certain things. You're not going to throw that out the window because you got an injury.
Yeah.
Now, other players, Romy Gonzalez, hey, look, Romy, here's the first baseman, go figure it out. You'll do that to a player like that because that's what keeps them on the roster. You don't do that to a top prospect. You let those guys stay on their path. And
to Breslow's credit, to come out right after the injury and being like, we're not even, that's to get that out of your heads right now, media. Like this isn't even a thing. Yeah. Like we're not even thinking about it. They're staying put.
And I do appreciate Breslow coming right out, just clarifying that we're not considering it. Let's not talk about it.
Yep. Love it.
Because I'm sure that, Roman Anthony and Marcelo Mayer saw the news and they went, uh-oh, like, what does that mean for us?
Right.
And I'm sure both guys, as they look, give me first baseman, I'll come right up. But you've got to keep them. You got to keep them on track. You got to figure out the major league roster separately from that, and then let these two different paths converge when they do. But there's no need to force anything right now. And with this team being 500, you're thinking now you're now in a spot coming into the this first week of May where you're thinking, are we going to be in it, or are we going to look to deal guys off and bring these guys up and actually make them permanent fixtures sooner rather than later?
Yeah. The one thing I did really appreciate about the Netflix series, The Clubhouse, is they did spend an episode in the minors following these guys around. It was Kyle Teal at the time, Anthony and Meyer. They followed them around in Portland, and you don't even really think about it, but they watch the Red Sox every night. Like they're getting ready for the game. They're watching them on TV. They get done their game. They go in the clubhouse. They're watching the game as they're changing to go home. Like they are in tune with what's happening on the big club. And I've always known that, I guess, but never really thought about it that they're that woven into the big club, because what happens there affects them directly, especially these high prospect guys. So that was kind of cool to see and listen to their reactions and what they were thinking about while watching the Sox. So that was a pretty cool episode, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, these guys have a vested interest to keep an eye on what's going on in Boston.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like you said, if something happens in Boston, sometimes the phone rings down in Portland or Worcester to say, hey, let's make sure so-and-so's got this on their radar.
Yeah. All right. Another injury. Walker Buehler hits the IL with right shoulder bursitis. Are we concerned, or will rest hopefully fix his shoulder? And is this a big blow early on?
I mean, concerned a little bit. Is this a big blow early on? I mean, I feel like it's been nothing but the Red Sox taking shots in the last 2 weeks, but does it hurt? Yes, it hurts. It hurts to lose Walker Buehler for a few starts. Is it a huge blow? No, he's been a little unsteady, but what concerns me more is that he was beginning to get his legs underneath him.
Yeah.
And now this is like a restart. So big blow early on. No, it hurts for sure. I just, whether Buehler's there or not right now, I don't think it matters. It is the Red Sox biggest problem is the bullpen.
It's wretched.
It doesn't matter if they get a lead because they can't friggin' hold it.
No. And bursitis is weird. It's just like a fluid sac in your shoulder that bursts and you just get extra fluid around there. So I think they said today on the telecast, they're just going to drain it. He gets rest. He'll skip a start and hopefully be ready for his next start next week. So
it's like a blister on the inside.
Yeah. So,
which thankfully there's no muscle damage. There's no tendon damage. It's literally just a little sack of fluid that they got to make go away.
Yep. So I am optimistic on that. And hope he comes back and just continues to improve and get better, because the Sox do need him. Because if Crochet can keep lengthening or shortening games like he has been, he didn't have a great game today and still only gave up 1 run.
It was in the first inning. It was one mistake and that was it.
It was the first pitch of the ball game. That was it.
Yep. That's it.
And so, I mean, he shortens a lot of games. You need a couple guys that shortens games when you have a bullpen as bad as the Red Sox do right now. So.
Yeah, I think the one knock on Crochet is that he's not been going very deep. This is another 5-inning start for him.
Yeah.
You'd like to see him go 6, maybe start to creep into 7. 5, you're leaving way too much meat on the bone for the bullpen.
Yep.
And that's why he's 3-2 after like 7 of his 8 starts being quality starts.
So I think he wanted to come out for the 6th, and they were like, no. We have a 4-1 lead. There's no need to push it.
And there's a certain level of they're trying to protect him. And we said that going into the season. Like he's got a track record. He's a big investment. It's only April. Now It's rolling over to May. We were saying it's April at the time.
Yeah.
He's very much on a short leash, but man, it hurts to watch him leave after going 5 and giving up 1 and take another no decision because the bullpen can't hold it.
Brutal. All right, Lucas Giolito, he came back strong in debut against Toronto, going 5 scoreless, and then kind of left in, I think, a 1 batter too long.
Yep.
Gave up a 2-out walk, then a 2-run shot and a solo shot before exiting. But he looked good.
He did.
Promising. I like that. Boston will then later lose that game 7-6. Just another implosion. Red Sox should have been legit 6-1 this week.
They had a lead in every single game, I believe, and could not hold it.
I got nothing for it. I don't get it. I don't understand what's going on other than the bullpen. And I mean, we'll get into it in a little bit. Hold on.
Well, to go back to Giolito real quick though. So, he goes 5 strong innings in his first start back. And I thought, great, round of applause, Lucas. Take the rest of the night off. Great job. And then he goes back out for the 6th, and I go, why? Why are you pushing this guy in his first start back? And the 6th inning, he was like a different guy. Pitches down the middle. Things were flattening out. He was tired.
Yeah.
And that's another one of the situations where you look at Alex Cora and go, what are you doing? Why was this guy going back out to the mound? He was clearly done.
Right. Or, like after he walks that guy with 2 outs, go get him.
Yep.
But you also had a 6-run lead at that point.
Right.
So, I mean, it's a little bit different, right? I mean, like, I'm managing that different if it's 3-2, right?
Yeah.
And he goes out, he gets the first 2 outs. Okay, fine. He walks the next guy. I'm going to go get him.
Yeah.
We have a 6-run lead right now. He can get the last one, right? He can get the last out for sure. And then a 2-run shot happens. Then you're like, all right, he just needs 1 more.
And then you still didn't go get him.
Right. Then the solo shot happens, and you're like, all right, now it's time.
Yeah, Cora got greedy trying to squeeze another inning out of a guy who was just coming back. And again, I've said it a million times on the show. I do think Cora's in-game management is not terrific. I think he tends to be a little slow to make moves, especially when it comes to lineup. When it comes to getting to pitchers, he falls into terrible patterns with the bullpen. Hello, Slayton.
Right.
He keeps going back to things that don't work. Yeah. And this team continues to not be able to be better than 500.
No, I think you might see a switch there. If it was me, I would switch Hendricks and Slayton right now because Hendricks is clearly coming in and slamming the door. He's very
effective.
He had a great inning today because Abreu hit a bomb in the bottom of the 8th to make it 5-4. And then Hendricks came in and slammed the door in the 9th. So gave the Red Sox an opportunity to win. I think you need to start putting Hendricks in the high leverage spots. I think he's ready for it. So,
yeah, I mean, I think you're trying to ease him back in, and I think you're now seeing that he's kind of ready to. You can give him a little more rope, and give him a little more rope, and give him a little more pressure. We're now at that point.
Yeah, Texas Repo. See, like for us as Red Sox fans, like Harrison and I'm not going to speak for the rest of Red Sox Nation. I didn't really have an issue with Alex Bregman per se, like because the Astros didn't affect the Red Sox really at all, as much as Yankees fans. I get the whole Yankees fans being up in arms about the Astros, Bregman, Correa, the whole roster. Like I completely get that. I don't think we ever got really hot under the collar about the Astros because they didn't really affect our team much.
No,
right?
I mean, I never really liked Bregman because I always thought he was kind of smug. And, obviously play for the Astros. They're really, really good. And you don't like the guys that are on top. Like, I never really cared for him, but I didn't really care that much about him. I do enjoy him now.
Yeah.
Certainly when he's on your team, but I feel like Bregman is one of those guys that if he's not on your team, you don't like him. He is smug. He is confident. He's got a cockiness to him. He's a winner, and that drives people crazy.
Right.
When he's on your team, you love him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, all the great ones. I mean, you look at Kobe Bryant. You either love the guy or you hate him because he wins. It's that whole alpha mentality for sure.
Yeah. When I think back to the Astros, like the guys that I was most upset with were Hinch, Cora. I mean, Beltran, but I don't think he deserved all the heat that he got. Altuve, who was wearing the stuff under his shirt. Like there were other guys that were doing way more egregious things than Bregman, that I think were higher up the hit list than him.
I agree. All right.
Yeah, and Texas Repo. As a Red Sox fan, I was one of the ones that was calling for Alex Cora to be banned forever. Like goodbye.
He shouldn't have came back. Him or Hinch shouldn't have been able to come back.
He and Hinch should have been kicked out of baseball. They should be on the Pete Rose Express. And
that's coming from Red Sox fans.
Yeah, and he was a Red Sox player, the Red Sox manager now, and when it all went down, I said, that's it, he's done. Like, I don't want to see him back in Boston ever again.
Yeah, it's crazy they only got a 1-year suspension for that.
Yeah, they should have been on the Pete Rose Express.
Yeah, agree. Not Red Sox news, but sort of Red Sox news. Cody Clemens hits a home run in his first game at Fenway Park with the Rocket in attendance. So that was kind of pretty cool. He got a start, hits a home run to right field. And Roger got to see it at Fenway Park. So pretty cool.
Was the Rocket at Fenway for any particular reason, or did he just come to town to see his boy play? Because like he doesn't live here. He's down in Texas.
No. Right. So I think he came to watch his son play at Fenway Park. So
make a visit to the old ball club, see his kid play, and kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, there's no concrete evidence on this with the Altuve under his jersey thing. It's just weird that he's coming around third base and saying, "Don't rip my jersey off."
Yeah, and you can see the outline of something underneath the buttons.
Yeah,
I mean, I think Altuve is a dirty player, but it doesn't mean I don't respect him as a ball player.
Right. All right. So let's kind of get into the season as a whole, the week as a whole. 1-run losses for the Red Sox. 9 1-run losses is the most in the MLB. They just took the lead today, something to be proud of. They just can't close out games. They don't score in the middle innings to maintain a lead. And, well, the bullpen.
Yeah, I mean, you can just say the bullpen, and that explains everything. But, yeah, they're now 4-9 in 1-run games.
Yeah.
I mean, and amazingly enough, you're 18-18. You're 2 games out of the AL East because the Yankees haven't exactly run away.
No.
The Yankees have their own problems. If anybody named Max Fried can't pitch.
Yeah.
They have their own problems. And honestly, I think the AL East, as much as we thought that this was going to be kind of the Red Sox to get a chance to kind of jump out and run with this thing, and maybe the Orioles would climb too and fight the Yankees, this is feeling like a battle of attrition in the AL East. The Yankees have problems. The Red Sox have problems. The Blue Jays have problems. The Rays have problems, and the Orioles have problems. There is no solid team in this division.
No.
Everything we thought we knew, I think, is turning out to be a lie.
This used to be the best division in baseball.
It's terrible.
And it's not right now.
It's a pretty trash division right now.
Yeah.
There's no team right now in that division you go, oh, man, I don't want to face them.
No. Nope, not at all.
Kind of a hot mess.
No. But for me, it as much as the bullpen's a problem, right? The team's not helping them out in the middle innings at all either. They're not scoring. They'll get out to a quick lead, 3-0 lead after 2 or 4-0 after 3. And then there is nothing from inning 4 to inning 8. And then, innings 8 and 9, it doesn't even matter because you're behind by too much. So you can't catch up. They're just not hitting the ball in the middle of the game for whatever reason, or not scoring runs, I should say. They're hitting the ball. They're just not scoring runs in the middle of the game.
Yeah, they remind me a little bit of the Diamondbacks from last year, where they seem to score in bunches, and then there's just long periods of nothing in between.
Yep. Yeah.
And I don't understand it.
Yeah. I don't know how it gets fixed. I don't know if it's just that's baseball. I mean, baseball works out in weird ways like that sometimes, but they got to address the bullpen here soon. Have to.
I mean, honestly, one of the guys you thought might be a piece to do that was Casas, and you got no Casas to trade now. So, and Yoshida's not responding to the throwing program, so he's basically stuck in Never Never Land, and he might end up missing most, if not all, the season. You've got no moves.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Why is our DH going through a throwing program?
Because they need him to be able to play the outfield because he can't really DH.
Okay. Well, right, because of Devers, but just deal him already. Or just release him. What is he doing for you right now? Nothing.
Nothing. I mean, this is like Rusney Castillo all over again. Like, here's a guy we're just going to like park on the sidelines because we don't want to get rid of him, but we don't really want to play him either. So it's convenient that he's like unable to recover, in air quotes. It's you can't trade him because he's damaged goods with a big contract.
Right.
Underperforming damaged goods with a big contract. You got nobody to package anymore because Casas is now out. So you need that whole roster to try to fill that void now.
I mean, you do, but you don't want to send him.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, it would have been a lot easier to say, here, take Yoshida and Casas, then take Yoshida and Rafaela. Rafaela, you made a commitment to last year. Like, you want him to be around for a while.
Right. But that might be appealing to another team if he's got control.
Oh, Rafaela is super tradable because he's got that longer term, inexpensive contract. And he's got positional flexibility, all those good things. But I don't know what you've got for moves now. I think you're relatively limited.
Yep. I agree.
And you do not want to move Mayer, you do not want to move Campbell, you do not want to move that whole next wave.
No. And you already got rid of your catcher of the future in Kyle Teal, but you got a proven arm. Like, that's the difference.
Yes.
Like, you got a perennial all-star. Like, it would still be hard for me to choke down if they traded away Anthony or Meyer or Rafaela for that matter, if we didn't get back a proven perennial all-star. Like, that package has to reap some benefits immediately.
Would you send Roman Anthony down to Florida for Alcantara?
No.
See, I wouldn't either.
Not at this point.
See, I wouldn't either. I don't.
Too many question marks with Sandy. If he would have came back and dominated this month and a half, I'd have been like, oh yeah, I would.
Pablo Lopez?
I would think about it. Now, I would think about it if another first baseman came with him, possibly. If there was like a 3-way deal somewhere where we could possibly get a first baseman over here, I would really think about it, because I mean, you could almost probably go Anthony for Lopez straight up, and the Twins would be like, yeah, we'll take it. I
can't imagine. I think the Twins would be all over that, because you've got holes in that outfield, and you got a guy in Buxton who's, he looked good today, but how long does he last?
Well, that's the thing with all of them. Like, how long do they last? So Pablo Lopez is 4 years, 73.5. When did he sign that deal? So let's see. He signed that so he's got until 2027. He's under control.
So 2 more years.
Yeah.
So he's in the second year of that deal.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think we'd have to get something else other than just Lopez for me to sweeten that deal. But I mean, it's a nice hypothetical, but it would still be a tough one to swallow to see Anthony walk out.
Well, and the reality of it is that if you're the Red Sox and you get Pablo Lopez, it doesn't change the fact that he might pitch 6 stellar innings for you, but you got a bullpen that can't hold the lead, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. That's the black hole right now. The bullpen is terrible.
You'll have a guy with 20 quality starts and, 9 wins.
If that.
Yeah.
Brutal. All right, Harrison. Here we go. Who is that guy? I got 5 of them for you. Obviously, they all have Red Sox connections. So Here we go. In the chat, if you want to play along, you can definitely play in the chat. So here we go. First one. Played from 1993 to 2001 for the Expos, Rockies, and ended his career with the Red Sox. Played second, third, and short. He wore number 3 with the Red Sox. Who is that guy?
I know that guy because it was Mark Loretta last week, and I guessed this guy thinking it was him because like this, except for the teams, it all lines up. So this would be Mike Lansing.
Yes, this one is Mike Lansing. Good. 271 batting average, 1124 career hits, 84 career home runs, 10 career WAR.
It always had that mark on his back where he finished the swing
Yep.
and left the pine tar stain.
Yep. I always remember him as an Expo for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I don't really picture him anywhere else. I even forgot, like, until we started this, that he was even a Red Sox. And I was watching them quite a bit in 2000, 2001. But
yeah, I mean, when I think of Lansing, I think of him basically as, I think of him with Montreal. He's only in Boston for a season and a half.
Yeah. Yep.
He was a stopgap. That's all he was.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Here is the next one. Who is this Red Sox player? Switch hitting outfielder that played from 93 to 97 for the Mariners, the Red Sox, the Phillies, back to Boston, and then back to the Mariners. Played for the Sox in 94, 95, and 96. WAR numbers 38, 26, and 10, all with his stints with the Sox. Harrison, who is that guy?
All right. So during that time, you had Lewis, you had Buford, you had Jefferson, who ended up becoming more of a DH. You had
I think this one's a real tough one.
There is an outfielder that was in that group, and the last name starts with a T.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, I don't know. I can't form it, but
yep. Yeah. I mean,
it's like Tingle.
You're so close. I mean, it is Lee Tinsley.
Oh, Lee Tinsley. Yep.
So 241 batting average, 210 career hits, 13 home runs, and a 1.7 career WAR. Yep. I picture him mostly with the Mariners, but I even forgot he was a Red Sox until I was looking at some of the rosters. So
yeah, kind of unremarkable, but
yeah,
I remember him swapping in and out. He was kind of a utility guy who actually played more often.
Yep.
But didn't do much, obviously, by the numbers.
Right. All right, next one. Who is this Red Sox player? Outfielder that played from 2012 to 2019 for the Pirates, Marlins, back to the Pirates, Giants, and then Red Sox. WAR number 47 for the Red Sox in 2019 and only played 20 games for them. Harrison, who is that guy?
Oh man, that face looks really familiar.
It's tough because he only played 20 games with the Red Sox, and he's really not a well-known name.
No, I mean, face looks familiar, but
I really don't have any other hints because the guy did nothing for the Red Sox. No All-Stars, no Gold Gloves. Doesn't really help.
Boy, yeah. I mean, face looks vaguely familiar, but I've got no name for him.
His last name is Hernandez. Does that help you?
That's like half the league.
Fair. But I didn't. He's got a funky first name. I didn't know if that would help.
Oh. No, but when you say it, I'll be like, oh yeah, but I got nothing.
Gorkys Hernandez.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Yes, Gorkys Hernandez, 230 batting average, 227 career hits, 20 career home runs, negative 1.3 career WAR.
Wow,
So,
you're bringing me all these big names, Nick.
Gorkys Hernandez.
Jeez.
Yeah. I told you that was going to be a tough one. All right. Next one. Who is this Red Sox player? Played only for the Red Sox in his career, starting in 2008 and ending in 2010. Outfielder who also pitched 1 2/3 innings during this brief time. Batted left and threw left. WAR numbers 30, 60, and 44 for the Sox. Who is that guy? So on his baseball reference, it says outfield and pitcher, and I was like, oh, cool. And I looked, and it says an inning and 2/3. I was like, wow, all right, that's.
I was starting to go on the path of like a Ryan Lavarnway or a Lars Anderson and I'm like, this is not any of those guys.
Nope. This might be the hardest one that I've had. I think he, like I said, lefty. Yeah. So this is, I'll just give up.
I have no idea who that is.
This is Jonathan Van Every.
Oh my goodness. 12 career hits. Jeez.
255 batting average, 12 career hits, 2 career home runs, a negative 0.1 WAR. Yeah. Like, I remember the name, but I don't really remember much of his career, obviously. But it was during like the prime time of watching the Sox, though, which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember him at all. Like,
No.
at all.
Not one bit? Don't even remember the name?
No, I remember hearing the name, but I don't remember anything about him.
Wow. All right. Got him.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. This last one I think you should get. No problem. All right. Who is this Red Sox player? Played from 2010 to 2015 for the Red Sox, Cubs, Blue Jays, and A's. Left-handed starting pitcher. WAR numbers 61 and 22 for the Sox. 2013 World Series champion. Who is that guy?
Oh, that's it's Felix
Yep.
starts with a D.
Yep.
Dubront. Felix Dubront.
Felix Dubront. Good. 31 and 26 career win-loss record, 4.89 career ERA, 513 and 2/3 innings pitched, 442 strikeouts. So, yeah, Felix Dubront. So, sorry
I do remember him.
Yeah. Sorry about those guys in the middle.
I mean, 12 career hits and negative WARs, and holy cow.
That's right. You're welcome.
I'll remember that for Thursday.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. Yeah, but I have 29 other teams that you can do that with, so
exactly.
That's going to be great.
Just get ready.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
This guy got 7 at bats in his career for the Chicago White Sox.
Eddie Goodell.
Yeah.
Well, technically, he didn't even record an at bat because he walked. So
that is true.
But
no at bats, but he's got 1,000 OBP.
Yeah, right. All right. I mean, do you have anything else to add for this past week? I mean, it has not been a good couple of weeks for the Red Sox Nation here. It has been, I mean, there are some bright spots that you can get behind. Like, there are guys hitting. There are times we're putting runs on the board. But the other stuff is just outweighing that aspect of this team right now. This team should not be a 500 ball club.
No, it does beg the question though, Nick. Like if you are sitting here as Craig Breslow or Alex Cora pulling up Moonlight Graham next,
Yep.
Yeah, you never know. You never know what might come out next.
Yeah, I agree.
But if you're sitting here, if you're Alex Cora, you're Craig Breslow, what do you do? Like, how do you get you're almost a quarter of the way through the season. You're 4 games away from being a quarter of the way through the season, and you're doing exactly what you did last year. Your starting pitching is good enough, your offense is good, and your bullpen's terrible. Like, what are you doing to try to turn the corner here?
Because Whitlock's not the answer either.
He's been super inconsistent. He's Jekyll and Hyde.
I thought for sure being able to cement him in a role in the bullpen would be able to get him to focus on that one spot instead of being like, oh, I'm going to spot start up here and then go back to the bullpen for 2 weeks and then spot start again. I thought putting him in a defined role would be incredible, but it hasn't worked out. He coughed it up, I think, today too for them. So it's just like, I don't know. You got to do something. You got to wheel and deal, I think, at this point, because I don't think there's anybody in the minors in the bullpen that you could pull up at this point. I haven't heard any names down there. And typically you don't really pull up from the minors for the bullpen unless you are really struggling, which, heck, we might be at that point.
I mean, and the body of work for Whitlock this season hasn't been that bad. He's got a 3.06 ERA. He's 1-0 right now.
He'll be 1-1 after today.
Did he take the loss today, or did he just take a blown save?
I don't know, because he came in.
I think Slayton got the loss. I think.
Okay, that makes sense.
Either way,
whatever.
Either way, I mean, 3.06 ERA to the bullpen. That's pretty damn good. But the problem is that he's got two. I think he's got 2 blown saves in the last week where, he gave up a couple runs in big spots coming out behind the starter.
Yeah,
he did. Actually, it was Houck's game. He took the blown save in that one, and then he took the blown save in this one.
Yeah.
So as good, he looks good on paper, but he's not getting you. He's not getting you anywhere, and he's coming in other situations and pitching well, and somebody behind him coughs it up.
Yeah. I mean, this team does have the talent to be able to turn it around, to flip the script, and start winning these 1-run games if they can figure out the bullpen. If they can figure out what's going on down there. I don't know if it's Bailey that needs to step up here and come up with a whole different philosophy on how to attack hitters late in games. I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. You've scored the 2nd most runs in the AL. You've also given up the 3rd most in the AL. 4th most. I mean, it's not good.
Do they have that broken down by starters or bullpen by any chance?
No, I'd have to dig a little deeper to find that.
Yeah. But either way, it's still not great. It's just like you said, it's the same team as last year. We can score a bunch of runs, but we, give up more. Can't prevent them.
Yeah, we can't put together a good week.
No.
You take 2 out of 3 in one series, then you immediately go and drop 2 out of 3.
Yep.
There's no sweeps. There's no, you can't pair 2 series together in a row. And even against, Minnesota just came in and smacked you around. That's not even a good team.
No.
We were laughing a couple weeks ago, like, are they one of the worst teams in baseball?
Yep.
And they just smacked you around.
Yep. They did. And who was our series? I'm drawing a complete blank. Who did we play earlier this week?
We had
oh yeah. So we lost both series this week.
Yeah, lost them both. You've lost 2 in a row and 6 of your last 10.
Yeah. Brutal.
And against teams, we've talked about this from the very beginning. You have to beat the teams you're supposed to beat.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't even do that.
No. And not only they can't beat them, is they're coughing up 6-run leads. They're coughing up 5-run leads. Like, they're coughing up big leads to lose these games.
Yes. Yeah, you're taking good starting pitching and throwing it away because you can't hold the lead. And then the offense, tries to rally. We saw Abreu hit a home run to try to rally. Didn't matter. Too little, too late. There's nobody else hitting with him.
But
it just feels like feast or famine.
Yeah, there's no killer instinct, right? You had the Twins on the ropes early. That you take that Abreu bomb and you move that to the 4th or the 5th inning, and you stick that knife in just a little bit further earlier in the game, that team lays over. Right? Don't make it a game so you have to try to scrape 2 against Johan Duran in the bottom of the ninth. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, don't get him confused with Jaron Duran.
Yeah, that was a confusing matchup this week. Jaron Duran versus Johan Duran. I was like, my wife's like, wait, that's Jaron Duran and that's also Jaron Duran? I'm like, well, he pronounces it differently, but essentially, yes. It's
how was he the pitcher and the batter?
Yeah, it's like Bugs Bunny going on out there. But yeah, I don't know what they. I mean, I do know what they have to do. They have to get a whole entire new bullpen in there. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but Aroldis Chapman's not even the problem.
No, he might be one of your best arms out there.
I think he's the best arm in our bullpen right now.
And I hate to say it, but you're probably right.
Like he has come in and has loved being in this closer role, knowing that he's not going anywhere. He's with the Red Sox all year, no matter what. I mean, barring an epic collapse and a team coming in and being like, hey, can we borrow him for 3 months? Besides that, I think this team will still be playing in October. They just need to turn it around quickly or they won't be.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to what we said last week. I think that we're both beginning to fade the Red Sox as a legitimate AL East winner and looking at them more as a team that's going to fight for a wild card spot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they're looking like for sure.
I don't think they've got the juice.
No.
Which is disappointing because this was a team that looked like it was going to be really, really solid. And we knew going in, the bullpen was a big X factor, the major question mark, and the bullpen's done nothing but let them down.
Yeah.
As we knew they could.
I hope Craig Breslow's desk right now has 55 sticky notes all over it, and on each one just says bullpen, 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 bullpen. Just covering his desk.
I hope it's just names of bullpen pitchers they want to go and vet.
They got to. It's brutal.
At this point, you need to just go find several arms and see who sticks, because this ain't working. And I will say that I think that Alex Cora has been relatively subpar at managing what he's got. He's falling back in the same patterns, like with your favorite player there, Ryan Brazier.
Ugh.
He always brought in Brazier to situations where statistically he was never successful, but he just kept doing it time and time again.
Yeah, absolutely brutal. I don't get it, but hopefully they can get it turned around. I mean, they got the Rangers coming in this week.
Well, I mean, at least the Rangers don't hit, so that'll help the bullpen.
They don't hit until they play the Red Sox.
Yeah. Well, and they just let their offensive coordinator go.
No, did they?
Yeah. They let him go today.
So, I mean, we have the Rangers coming in, and then we have we're on the road against KC next weekend. So,
yeah. And KC's finally turned it around. So,
yeah. So those really, I mean, you should win 2 out of 3 there. Both series you have to.
Yeah. I mean, Kansas City's won 8 of their last 10 and they are smoking everybody right now. So,
yeah. Well, then we won't win 2 out of 3 there, but whatever. All right.
I guess we'll see.
Yes. All right. That does it for our Boston show. We will be back on in a little bit for our Rounding Third Baseball to cover the other league news. Until then, everybody, thanks in the chat for chiming in. We always love that interaction. We will be back on in about 10-15 minutes for Rounding Third Baseball. But before you go, make sure you follow and like us on Facebook, Rounding Third Boston. You can also listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow on all the platforms. You know where they are. And we will see you next Sunday at 8 p.m.